I've been looking for a high-quality scooter for a very long time, and if you watch my previous episode where I had a Turbo X7 Max, I sold that scooter and this is my upgrade. When deciding on the scooter, I had two choices. Either it was going to be the 9BOT Max or it was going to be the HiBoy S2 Max. And I decided on this one for a number of different reasons. So far, so good. I haven't had any issues. I've had this for a couple of weeks now and I've been riding it and enjoying it. So for someone like myself that depends on this every single day, I needed it to be not only fast, but I also needed to have a good range. And this promises to have 40 miles and to deliver 19 miles per hour. As far as the battery is concerned, it's inside of the deck, so you're actually standing on it, so most of the weight is going to be below you. I like the fact that the center of gravity is all the way below you. Overall, the stability of the unit is definitely higher than the other unit. Charging takes anywhere between 5 and 6 hours to go from 0 to 100%, which I've cycled the battery a couple times by now, and so those are pretty accurate figures. And as you can see, I've fitted it with a U-lock. Whenever I lock it up, I usually lock it up to the front stem and then go wherever I need to go. This makes it really convenient and it's very hard for people to steal it. As far as taking your scooter and bringing it somewhere in the car and riding it somewhere else, that's pretty easy to do. Let me demonstrate how that is done for you guys. There's a little latch here. You just pull it towards you and then the arm comes down and there's a little latch right here. And so there you go. It snaps into place and it makes it really easy to transport. I believe this unit weighs a little bit under 50 pounds, but don't expect to walk with this far, just from wherever you need to get to your car and back. So with all the specs out of the way, now let me take you guys on an FPV ride and describe to you guys exactly how it rides. We'll talk about the speed, the range, as well as how it is to ride, and what kind of person should be buying this e-scooter. Is it right for you or not?
3 hours later.
Alright guys, with all that out of the way, now let's talk about the most important thing, and that is the speed. Right now I'm doing 18 miles an hour, and then what I like about the unit is that it quickly gains speed way faster than Turbo X7 Max that I had. 12 miles per hour, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Top speed, very quick. The 500 watt motor on this thing is very much appreciated because off the line, you don't have to worry about cars getting annoyed behind you or other bicyclists or riders. You simply smash on the throttle and this thing catches speed really fast. However, when the battery is below 50%, it becomes a tiny bit sluggish, but not by a whole lot. What I'll demonstrate for you is just going on regular roads, but whenever we do come back, we're going to be going up some hills. And I'll demonstrate for you what the speed is like when we get there. The streets I'm riding right now in are pretty smooth. And so on nice smooth roads like this, it's really comfortable to ride. However, I have ridden it in surfaces where it's not so smooth, and the ride is very, very bumpy. It doesn't have any suspension at all, and that's one thing I wish it had, but unfortunately it doesn't have. Overall, the cruise control is a pretty nice feature. If you hold it down about 4 or 5 seconds, it makes a little beeping sound, but the beeping sound is really not that audible because when you're riding, the only thing that you could really hear is the wind. So the wind completely drowns out the audible sound. So you really don't know if you're locked into cruise control or not unless you look down. To get out of cruise control, all you have to do is hit the throttle just one time and cruise control will be disengaged. Or if you use the brakes. What you're looking at is my neighborhood, so as you can see, this is where I usually commute. I go to the coffee shop from home. It's really, really convenient to use this thing as opposed to driving everywhere. I have some more bumpy surfaces to give you guys some more examples. Sorry. I'm doing 22 miles an hour going down a hill. So it's not speed restricted. Going down on a hill, it will carry some speed. This feels pretty sketch, but it's the only way to get to where I'm going. There's a hill right now, and we are going up that hill doing 18 miles an hour. As an FYI, I charged the batteries before I did this video. Hopefully you can see in the camera, we are currently using 100% horsepower. It is at the red at the moment, which basically means I'm using all 500 watts of the motor. Going up this hill, now it's a slight hill, doing anywhere between 16 to 18 miles an hour, but now it's leveling off. All right, so going up another steep hill here. I don't know what the grade is, but we're at 17 miles an hour. Holding steady at 17, using all 500 watts. Now it's 18 miles an hour. And continuing to go up this hill at cruise control at 18 miles an hour and using all 500 watts of the motor. Pretty impressive if you ask me. But once again, just want to remind you that we are at a full charge. So in case you're curious, this does have regen braking. You can see that on the left-hand side of the LCD screen, it turns orange, indicating that you're using regenerative braking. That's a tongue twister. I can't say it properly for the life of me. All right, so from this point on, it's going to be all downhill. Doing 25 miles an hour, 26, 27. 27 miles an hour. Woohoo! All right, I felt pretty unstable there doing 27 miles an hour. I'll be honest with you guys, that was pretty sketch. Yeah, but as you can see, going down a hill, the regen braking was trying to slow me down. Yeah, so on the way back, we're gonna be going up these hills and we're not gonna have the same battery capacity. Hopefully, it doesn't run out of juice and leave me stranded because I'm really far from home at the moment. Now, as far as the deck is concerned, I'm about 5'5", 5'6". I wear a size 8.5 sneaker, and I weigh somewhere around 135 pounds. And so for me, it's pretty comfortable. The deck is pretty wide. It's not substantially wide like some of the big Segways, like the P100S, which I have on order. So if you guys want to stick around for the next episode or two, there's going to be a review of that one coming up as well. And just as an FYI, I paid for this with my own money. This is not a sponsored video. Versus the Turbo Ant, that was a sponsored video. They sent me that for free. So as I mentioned in the beginning, the roads that I was riding in before, they were pretty smooth, but these roads are pretty bumpy. So on these type of roads, you got to ride a little bit slower because, yeah, it's not so comfortable. Let's just say that. The GoPro has stability, so you won't be able to see all the movement, but there's plenty of it. All right, we got to the beach. What a beautiful day. I was waiting for a nice sunny day like this to make this video for you guys. So happy that it's finally sunny. But let's hop off this thing, take a look at the battery, and see what the meter says. So as you can see, I got all 5 bars. 2 red, 3 in the green, so that's all 5 bars. If we log into the device, we got 86% battery life left, even though this has all 5 bars. And there's a reason for that, which I'll talk to you guys about now. The problem I discovered with this e-scooter is that the battery management system, or otherwise known as BMS, is not entirely accurate. The other day I was riding it for about 12 miles. It reported on the app when I stopped that it had 32% battery life left. But as soon as I plugged it into charge, the battery meter went from 32% all the way up to 46%. And so when I contacted HiBoy, they replied back that there's an issue with the battery management system and that their tech support is trying to fix it. So that's one of the things that I don't like about the device, is that the battery management system is not entirely optimized and it's fairly inaccurate. All right, so now I'm gonna ride back and we're gonna be going up those hills to see how this thing performs. And I'm doing 19 miles per hour in cruise control. This isn't exactly the steepest hill, but at 85-86% battery life, it's still doing 19 miles per hour. But now the hill is starting to get more steep. 17 miles per hour and using 100% of the 500 watts. Now we're going up a really, really steep hill. 15 miles per hour, just entered cruise control. 14 miles per hour. 13 miles per hour. I'm not really sure if the GoPro is showing you guys how steep this is, but this is pretty steep. And so I just entered cruise control. Hopefully you heard those little beeping sounds. And I'm doing 12 miles per hour using 100% of the motor. Yeah, this is pretty sluggish. I'm doing 10 miles an hour at the moment. And one of the battery bars is lower, so now we got 4 bars. Yeah, if you're running out of juice and you're going up the hill, probably not a good idea. It's better to find another route, but considering I have over 80% battery life left, it's doable. All right, I think the worst of it is over. From here, it should get better. And we just passed the speed bump. Normally, this thing does not work very well with speed bumps because the battery on this device is pretty big. And therefore, there's not a lot of room under there for speed bumps. And normally you would bottom out, but that speed bump was a pretty small one. That was the steepest portion of the hill. We were doing about 10 miles an hour. I'm still surprised that it made it. But if you're anywhere below 50% battery, that might be really sketch. And it might be struggling to get up that hill.
2 hours later.
Well, there you have it, guys. The HiBoy S2 Max. Overall, I think it's a great unit, and I think it's perfect for someone who lives in a neighborhood like mine. Overall, very good brakes, very good tires. I haven't really ridden this thing in the rain, but I believe it is waterproof. If it's not, I'll make sure to put it on the screen. And lastly, this was an honest review. As I mentioned before, I bought this with my money, and I'll see you in the next episode where I get to review the Segway P100S. Take care, guys.